Tiny Love Stories, How to Woo Her. That's the headline of this New York Times piece, and it gives us a snapshot of a new kind of modern love column. The writers call it a mini column. Each story is written in less than 100 words, a tiny proof that intimacy can fit in a double-edged line of text. The article gives you durable examples that the brief format doesn't cut depth, it shows a body of truth that fits into tiny tablets of paper. At the start, the piece reminds us that modern love is still a brand. You saw the column on the Times page, you heard the TV series, and you can purchase the associated books. The author points out that the tiny stories are an offshoot of that bigger conversation about life and love, and they invite readers to submit their own ultra-short tales. The article rolls through a handful of those sift stories. First, a family joke about a gravestone inscription that turned into a clever memorial phrase, "We will forget you," is amended by one who says their grandmother would have laughed at that reversal. That story reminds us that family narratives are still punchlines that live on. Another short anecdote tells the story of a childhood nightmare that was soothed by a stuffed monkey wearing a bow tie, a therapeutic trick that still sits in a child's room, dividing fear and a surreal feeling of safety. The narrative speaks to that small object's enduring safety. The third excerpt is a romance bleached to a laugh. The writer walks under a hot June sun, meets a girl named Ellen, and discovers a shared love of cars as the spark for a blossoming romantic connection. 25 years later, the driver and the writer share that memory together, points to the power of a small-scale moment building a lasting bond. Tara Cap's brief story is about a husband noticing how an intensive dishwasher ritual can mean so much for his wife. He quietly keeps cupboards shut and empties the devices left behind, never once questioning his partner's attempts. These 15 years of silent service offer a quiet note of affection. Beyond the single stories, the article describes the larger project. 10,000 stories are expected in the past year. Readers can submit on the NYT website, and the Times offers further gear for fans, books, a podcast on iTunes or Spotify, and a newsletter. The article concludes by inviting readers to think about the power of tiny words in modern love, and ends with a friendly sign-off from the column's writer, wishing everyone boldness in love. So that is the full picture: tiny love stories, a living community, an invitation to write a micro-love note, a little dishwash talk, a hidden styling of grief, a tiny cartale romance, and a disclosure that the edicalizes the longevity of those small moments and the people who keep them alive. Thanks for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next time when we'll explore another angle to intimacy.